Mute would probably be a useful thing. I had a cough just before I started and I screwed up. Okay, so let's try that again. Hello and welcome everybody. I'm going to proceed out to where we're headed. Slowly. There we go. So we are... Oh, I hope I'm... Yeah, there we go. Okay. So we are headed out to work on covering holes today. I know I had started everything with a go live that talked about working on the wall. Maybe we'll get there. But we're actually going to cover some holes today. So this map to the south, you can start to see that I have been working a little bit on covering some of these big holes. And I may terraform flat, but we'll see. And then there's some smaller ones and stuff. Because I keep being torn on whether or not I like where the wall is or if I want to go out much larger. Because it gives me, when I'm noting that these spaces are much physically larger than I had originally anticipated, then that also means then that in order to build a proper sized town, I need a much larger wall space. And I was trying to dodge having to cover holes, but I think it's probably best if I just bite the biscuit and go for it. So yeah, that's what we're doing, covering holes today. So for those of you that may or may not have been bothered by this, who may or may not have been bothered by spoilers for 120, there is guaranteed to be none of that today. Absolutely none. So yeah, we're all good. And proper good morning, and apologies for not paying attention, to Fantastic Sherlock Fox and Benson this morning. Oh, by the way, I'm not wearing armor. I'm actually running a mod called Show Me Your Skin. It's a fabric mod where I can turn off part of the armor or make it transparent or whatever. So I'm actually still wearing it. You can see it's still on the slots, but you're not actually seeing the armor. And that goes for myself, and I can make it happen for other players too, or a single player at a time or whatever. So yeah, the armor is there, it's just not showing. Because there's no point in having a skin if you're not able to show it to anybody. Alright, so good morning Benson, what was your coffee today? I admit I chugged mine, and that was just because... I'm trying to find the hole. That was just because I had figured out that I am dehydrating myself a lot lately.
Hello.
And so if I chug the coffee, then I get the caffeine boost, but then... Oops, just trying to make sure I get around here. But then I also get the fluid portion going, so that when I get thirsty again, I have to drink my water bottle rather than more coffee. And that's probably good for it. Okay, good. I did bring a bed. And it looks like I have... Oops. Give me a second here. I have too many... what's it called? Too many maps going on at the same time. Okay. Not that one. I go J, options. Nope, that's not what I want. I mean, that is what I want, but is kind of what I want, but not what I want. You know what I mean? Nope, not preset 1. Preset 2. Why do I have too many maps? Ah, there we go. So Journey Map had not been started up properly yet, so I did not realize it was supposed to be there. Okay, great. Now we don't have two maps going on at the same time, because that would be problematic. Right. Oh, whoops. You can see my carrot farm's doing well. It got full, so I had to actually grab a shulker, and I mistakenly brought it with me. I want this one. There's the random junk. Do I have... That's good enough to start. We're at a fun spot where, looking over here, I've had a few spots where skeletons and stuff are able to get to and shoot me, so I'm just being a little bit uber cautious over there. Just a bit of a chicken. That's normal. Hello! Good afternoon to you, Bob. Good to see you. So where are we here? How was your work day? I'm assuming if you're not home yet, it's nearly over. We're nearly there. All right. So I hope your day was wrapping up well, and for those of us who are behind and or just partway through our days, that the future people have good news for us. I'm mildly amused that it's raining in game because it's finally, for us at least, raining here, or was, which is great because it was getting pretty high. In the Celsius range, we were looking at being pretty close to 30 majority of the weekend. And at camp, I burnt a few times. I did put on sunscreen this time, which was smart, but not enough sunscreen. I just forgot to reapply after washing my hands at one spot and blistered, and that's not fun. Don't let your hands blister, people. It hurts a lot. So what's on the dinner menu for the day? Hopefully it will help make your day less blah. I like to tell my kids, sometimes when you've had a bad day at school or a bad day at work, then it's sometimes great to be able to have control of the rest of your day so you can make it less blah and finish on a high note. I don't always practice what I preach, but I try my best. Glorious here, but could do with a little rain. Yeah, it's funny. The parts of the world that are used to nice hot weather, like portions of California, for example, are crying all around about getting too much rain. And the portions of the world that are very happy to have warm weather are the ones getting the rain. It would be nice if we could, please world, can you figure yourself out just a little? There we go. Guess that part's only too deep. Sure. Oops. I like to layer 3 deep just because if I try to build something or dig... build something or dig something, then I don't have to worry too much. But you stay put. Oh. Side effect of playing Bedrock for a little bit is that is that my shooting abilities are a little bit toast after that because the angles are different. So that is what I've been working on this week. But in any case, yeah. Places that had heat are getting rain, which is nice, or in some cases. And the ones that are used to the heat were also getting rain. Though we had a little bit of dry thunder earlier in the week, and I don't like that sort of stuff, just because it makes everything so static. And I find that I get itchy really easily from that, which is kind of a weird response to it. There we go. Dirty macaroni. I'm not familiar with that one. Now, in this case, what makes it dirty? I've heard of dirty rice, and I'm familiar with what makes it dirty there, and frankly, not my thing. But dirty macaroni sounds like something interesting. I had a bit of a smile earlier in the month, I guess, and a little bit late last month, where my son is now finishing up his elementary years, or primary years, depending on where we were at, and we've finally figured out a good way to send them warm lunch at school. Just one of those things that for the longest time, I think they had just accepted that they couldn't get decent warm lunch. And eventually they poked at it enough, and we did the research and found, a nice thermal container that can actually keep things hot enough to be worthwhile sending. And so now that we've had, heat waves and warm months, they still wanted warm food for school. Like, I don't understand that one. That's when I would have thought it would be the other way around. But I guess there's just the novelty is not worn off yet. So if the dirty macaroni turns out, I would really like to see some pics in one of the Discords that you and I are jointly in. I think that would be appreciated, because I'm always up for macaroni-based recipes. Pardon me. Anything that's not a box craft dinner. Because, yeah, I get sort of tired of that one. as Fantastic Sherlock Fox is very, very tired of hearing me remind him. But unfortunately, kids are picky. Not just mine, but getting kids to eat anything other than boxed mac and cheese is kind of a challenge these days. You know, Minecraft, if you could possibly, Mojang, give us, like, light when we shoot arrows. I don't even care if it's temporary. Sometimes I just want to light up a space so I can see what's going on for a couple minutes. So yeah, it may seem like a lot of waste to put in this much dirt, but as I was starting to say, I like adding lots of layers so that I have flexibility if I start to dig down, that I'm not going to instantly fall through the ground. And if I fall through, it's kind of, you could say, by choice. As in, I dug down that many layers by choice. Oops, that was dumb. I need to take this one back. I'm still sorry to hear that it was a bit of a disappointing day. I agree with Fantastic Sherlock Fox on that one. You know, sometimes now that I've tried a little bit of the 1.20, playing around with the suspect gravel and so on, I kind of wish, that's going to sound funny, but I kind of wish that this world was subject to one of the glitches that has been spotted in some of the new 1.20 worlds. Not all worlds are doing this, but there has been some spotted where, oh, that's not going to fall. Okay. There has been some spotted where the players are getting new generation, even in worlds that were simply upgraded. And I'm mildly envious, to be honest with you. Just because it would make life on an SMP so much easier. I understand why they wouldn't want to, but some of the players are, like some of these worlds are seeing, say you'll be out at a desert temple or something, you know you've been there before, you've looted it, so it's definitely generated, and yet if you go back, it's got suspect sand in it now. You know, like, that'd be kind of fun. Or that there'd be a toggle to allow it to do that, you know, where players could accept the risk that it might overwrite stuff. But, I mean, I'm lazy. Like, no bones about it. I'm lazy. So, that plays in there. Let's see, today's... Oh, whoops, he cuts in the wrong spot. Okay. Minigames. Peek out. Let's move you. It's nice enough to have. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to stretch it. It's nice to be able to have peek out thing fit underneath the map, but not when it doesn't want to center properly. Okay. Let's see, wheat seeds, grass. Do I have one that's dirt? Let's do the dirt first. Alright, that should do. Oops. -1. There we go. This is one very big hole. And I'm being a little bit chicken when it comes to filling it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. That was an interesting one that went very dark very fast. So can I reach this one? I am the world's slowest block placer, but hey, we get her done eventually, right? Oops. Try not to fall off the ledges. Come on. Gotta reach down as far as I can, and I can't seem to bother. There we go. What do we got? Haha, zombie, you can't get me. You can be noisy, but you can't get me. Oh, okay, let's see what can we reach. What do we got? Geek Out Literature 6 Children's Literary Characters. I would not call Oliver Twist a children's literary character, although I read it when I was a kid. Probably a little bit darker than most people would think of for kids' literature. Although, what have we got so far? Robinson Crusoe, Pippi Longstocking, Anna Green Gables, Tom Sawyer, Bilbo Baggins. Yeah, I guess, maybe. How about we're talking kids lit? Then we've got Princess in Black, probably. We've got Ryder Wolfson. Let's see what else was popular in our house. I mean, I guess technically you could say, what's it called? The Dogman. Unfortunately, Captain Underpants. Let's see, what else we got? Those are just some of the modern ones. I like the lean though, Fantastic Sherlock Fox toward the classics. I get that, but they weren't. A lot of those were not originally aimed at kids, which is kind of the funny part. Any space high enough to spawn something shall be filled or lit up. And at the moment I'm opting it toward filled. Let's see. I'm trying to think of other kids lit books. That's probably good enough. There we go, okay. On this side now. Yeah. The thing about kids lit, the thing about children's literature is that we don't always realize, yeah, we've grown out of it, but it's still there. And I pushed really hard with my kids, unfortunately, on classic literature. So they got all the, like, Little House stuff and Laura Ingalls Wilder's things, and I know the same sort of things, like Little House books. Which is not always to everybody's liking. My son read a lot of them, actually. I was quite surprised. I honestly didn't think he would. But he plowed through a lot of it. And then stopped at the same point I did, and for the same reason. Being that it was just too much in the romance category. I thought that was kind of funny, because the books weren't really written for kids originally. But the farther you get into them, the more romance stuff there is. And it's not gross or anything like that, or inappropriate or whatever. It's not in a kid's wheelhouse, you know? They're still at that stage where we're not even dealing with the ooh cooties old-fashioned idea anymore. They're literally just not interested in it's like the Princess Bride movie series, or movie, where the Fred Savage character is like, is this going to be one of those kissing books? By the way, as far as books go, that's actually, it was probably designed as a movie. I can never recall which one came first, but I've read it both as a movie and watched it as a movie and then owned and read it as a book, and I highly recommend it. It's fun. I guess if you want to kids/youth books, we can go with there's like the Never-Ending Story. So we've got Atreyu and Falkor and the Childlike Princess. It's always fun with Bastion. I don't think that was really meant to be aimed at kids, but I don't know. I never actually looked into it to find out whether or not it was. There's a lot of popular television stuff that was turned into books as well, so I mean, I guess that would kind of qualify. Like, for example, we used to read book after book after book, chapter books, of stories involving Fraggle Rock characters. And while it wasn't originally intended for kids, if we're going to go with things like Bilbo Baggins or Frodo Baggins, one could equally go with what's his name? I want to say Adam and Lucy, but I mean the C.S. Lewis books became children's lit, even though they probably weren't originally designed that way. There's a lot of kids I know that grew up on The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And then, I mean, if you wanted young adults or older kids silliness, that seems to now these days encompass things like Hitchhiker's Guide, even though that wasn't originally intended either. I think part of it is our definition of children's literature that's shifted over the years. Another thing I find children's literature has done is that there seems to be a trend right now of making simplified children's versions of books about older things or older people things. Like, for example, it's not really children's lit, but young adult lit. We've got biographies. I think we've got at least one in our house, possibly two, of famous people where my husband has got the adult version of the biography, and my son, technically, has, I don't think he ever read it, has the youth version of the biography. One example I can think of for sure, one concrete example, is somebody bought my son the youth version of the pre-Twitter Elon Musk biography. Don't know why. No, he's not a biography kind of kid, but, you know, to each their own. Another thing that happens a lot these days in that same sort of vein is that there'll be children's versions of other stories. So, for example, movie novelizations turned into books, and then that becomes dreadfully simplified. Popular one for doing that with these days is Star Wars. You know, like, it's been turned into kids' books in some respects. And I'm also talking like your standard New Hope characters, Luke, Leia, and Han Solo and the rest are doing like ABC books for little kids. But now's the time where I reach over and hit that happy little next button. Ew. Does anybody know the Walking Dead series? I never watched it. We're not zombie people. We're zombie show people. You know what? I'm just going to take the prerogative and skip this one. What do we got? Oh, we did that one. Random. Random is not working. There we go. Okay. So name 4 shows canceled after 2 or fewer seasons. Now, in that case, I do not know if Firefly qualifies or not. And we're also not talking ones that were designed to be short, like miniseries. Firefly does qualify, okay. So 4 shows that were canceled after 2 or fewer seasons. It's a tough one. There's a bunch that were canceled fairly quickly, but not necessarily that early. Why is my... That's interesting. Sorry, in my cheater chat, as I call it, which is basically just the chats that I see on my screen, I have a setting where it gives me a little blip noise, I guess, for every message coming through, but it's supposed to filter out Potter Oswin, and yet I keep getting blip noises to pay attention to when Oswin says something, and that's not very helpful. Let's see, RoboCop. RoboCop? Ugh. Yeah, okay. RoboCop the movie wasn't that great. I was actually surprised they made a TV show out of it at all. Tech Wars, yeah, well, have you ever read the tech books? Yuck. Some people who have been actors should not be authors. And Shatner's one of them. The books weren't terrible, but the ideas that were in some of them were very rehashed. I mean, the Tech Wars series was written by William Shatner, and as books, and if I remember correctly, the descriptions when I first read them of how the tech drug in the series is delivered seemed like a remake or rehash of a device used as an addictive game, or the description sounded like the device used as an addictive game in one of the Star Trek episodes. That had come quite a ways before that. Which, by the way, just even though there's a Star Trek connection there, which, by the way, Shatner was not involved in that episode because it was the Next Generation episode. I mean, there are some Twin Peaks. Ooh, yeah, I forgot about that one. Sense8 is one I'm not familiar with. Care to fill me in on what the premise was for that one? I don't know that one. There we go. As I can. Oh, nope. There we go. I don't even know why I bother when it's down there, because the more I mess with the mob cap like that, the more chance there is of getting a spider who actually has a chance of coming to get me. Or skeletons that can shoot me or whatever. One of the things we don't see as much these days, which I find kind of interesting, is it feels like more of a back of the day thing for shows to actually be designed in one-off seasons so that each one is sort of an ending in itself. It's almost like every season is its own series ending, such that even though they officially get renewed, sometimes we have long story arcs that if the show were to be canceled or left hanging, and my memory is rusty on this, but I kind of think that's more of a new phenomenon. I don't recall it being as big a thing in the past. Can I reach down there? Can I reach down there? Nope. I'm just trying to like reach holes and fill them. Guess not. Interesting. Sorry, just catching little bits of the words to the music in the background. It's not necessarily words to a song, it's just weird voiceover stuff. Oh, oops. Yeah, please don't blow me up, Mr. Creeper. I don't need that. Let's see. Here we go. I never know how long his titles are going to be, so I was trying to shrink them so that they wouldn't take up a whole ton of space, and apparently you keep cutting them off. We didn't. It's funny. We watched a whole lot of TV, even at the dinner tables as a family growing up, like when I was growing up, and yet there's a lot of shows that people mention these days that I still don't recall ever having seen them, which is odd. But then again, I mean, when you're a kid, you don't really have the sense of how long a season is, and if you're watching something mostly in reruns, then you're not necessarily. Actually, I'll leave that. Not necessarily going to know how long a season feels like. I mean, one could argue that stuff like Star Trek Next Generation went on, I say 7 seasons. And then when I think back and go, Jeepers Creepers, I was how old? Then it makes me feel kind of weird because I was really, really into it in junior high, which means that I don't recall whether or not it was over at that point or if I was just into it. But it just feels funny because because that would imply then that the show was around long enough that I was probably, well, basically too young to remember the start of it, which is weird. It just feels odd to me to think about that. Okay. There's enough weird hangover, but I think that'll be okay. Take down some of this.
The airplane, the telephone, the electric light, vitamins, radio, and even television.
Okay, let's see. New topic.
Some of us laugh at outer space.
2 actors who've served in the military. Well, I can give you that right off the bat. That's easy, so I'm going to see who else can grab it. Although one of my reasonings for the actor that I chose is a little bit cheesy. Did anyone think of 2 actors who have served in the military? And it could be here, it could be overseas. Yeah, I don't know what did it. I really have no idea. Best guess I have is that on one of the more recent Windows updates, that it uninstalled the Asus Armory Crate, and for some reason that seems to be quite critical to the speed of the frame rate. I don't get how that's connected, but apparently it was. Oh, this is something you can do in Java that I missed when I was playing Bedrock, is when you're in Java and you jump up and down, if you can just barely reach the block, then it will actually add up your smacks to the block so that it actually will break. Whereas Bedrock, that's not the case. If you fall down below the reach of the block, you have to start over like every single time. Okay, so we got this one. Where's the next hole? Aha. All right. But it said, what level do I want to fill to? And Oh. Okay. A lot of little tiny holes. Bit of spaghetti board going on there. Okay, I guess I'll just start at one east side and work my way west, I suppose. Yeah, but apparently as soon as I got the Armory Crate stuff, Bassist, installed again, it just, I shouldn't say it just worked, but it got a lot better. It also seems to matter where we're at. For some reason, out here is fine, but when I'm in my base, and I know there's a lot going on over there, but when I'm in the base, it's far worse since I put in the moss carpeting. I don't know what it is about the moss carpet. The system just apparently does not like that stuff. Come on. It was like, did somebody just shoot an arrow? It just sounded weird. Okay, so anyway, where are we here? I was really craving, the heck, that is not. Sorry. I was really craving something along the lines of Electro Swing this morning. Unfortunately, not only is the Odd Shot playlist getting old, I'm actually also starting to recognize the stuff on it by that artist, which he claims is Electro Swing, but doesn't actually feel like swing at all. So I'm actually starting to get to the point where I may have to look at negotiating with Fantastic Shockbox and testing out a couple, service or two. See what I would like for some paid music. We'll see. No promises, guys, but it might be nice to actually have some quasi-recognizable music. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are. Hello, and welcome in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. For those of you that don't know me, whoa, oops, don't fall off the edge there. I am Delenn Russell. I just often try to go by Delenn, and if you can't pronounce it, go ahead and call me Del. And I am just playing some Minecraft, filling holes right now, actually, on Java Minecraft on Dadcraft73's Java server for his Patreon members. He's got 3 different ones, and so I'm playing on this Java one. I don't believe we have met before, so if you have just discovered the channel, let's see, where's my happy button? If I can find it. Me. No, not that one. Who is me? Where'd it go? So I am a mom just chilling out while my kids are in school and playing some Minecraft for some fun. That's probably the easiest way to do it. I also play some non-FPS games sort of thing. It's puzzles and what do you call them? Management games, kind of like Planet Zoo and so forth. But I don't stream those very often. It just didn't go over all that well. So, you do what you do, and that's not a big deal. But anyway, I'm actually having a good time here, so we're not doing a whole lot super dangerous at the moment. I tend to play a little chilled, little cash, and quite conservatively in terms of safety. So you'll see a lot of squatting and slow block placing and stuff, just because speed block placing kind of gets me in trouble. So yeah. If you're into Minecraft, I'm always curious to know what's your what's your favorite platform in terms of, do you prefer Bedrock or Java? If you have the opportunity to play either one. I do play both, and I don't really particularly have a preference. There are pros and cons to each one of them. Oops. Oops, being I want to fill in there. Yeah. You're a mobile player. Okay, well, mobile players are awesome. I have no issues with that because that's kind of where I started. So my vanilla Java experiences started on mobile, partly because at the time it was it still is, notably cheaper than buying the version for PC. So welcome aboard, welcome. I actually had trouble enjoying the mobile interface long term, but in the last 2 iterations, there's been some great strides in that direction. So always welcome to new people. Although once in a blue moon, and I try to make it incredibly infrequent, I may slip. This is a vast majority of the time family-friendly channel, so just a heads up on that one. Hopefully that's your kind of thing. And so what are we doing today? Oops. Oh, for one, apparently I'm getting stuck under a ledge at nighttime. That's not smart. I'm just going to see if I can get myself back here so I can go to the bed without being on a ledge. Because, you know, creepers and all that jazz. Alrighty. See, at the moment... Wow. I appreciate the apparent compliment. And I am... There is no... Oh, shoot. There we go. Oops. Okay, options, mini-maps. Would you please go away? There we go. Close. There is... What's the word? There is not, as far as I know, a measurement of how low on the totem pole I would be worldwide. I'm not a competitive Minecrafter, just a little bit of fun, but I really appreciate, you know, having discussions with people that they do that sort of thing, because I can always learn something. I've never done a speed run, and only tried the dragon in Java on my own once. And I will admit I didn't manage to beat it without cheating. And what I mean by that is not going to creative mode, but when I ran out of supplies, I did /give and gave myself some more stuff to work with. So yeah. That was on the solo. I mean, I haven't done solo dragon for a very long time. I've played with dragons since then, just not solo. It is fun. The game is amazing. One of the things I like about it, and I would definitely agree with, are people who sort of like to say that it's kind of like digital Lego. But my favorite part is when people actually manage to get on the same page regarding the fact that it's not just for little kids. It's kind of like... I'll explain it. It's kind of like when it takes companies like Studio Ghibli, for example, to get it through to people that animation doesn't have to be either just Asian or just for kids. Just because something's animated doesn't mean it's only for kids. This is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't always make it through in what I'm actually saying, but that's the impression. Wow. Bob, let me know how it goes. I am so scared of them, it's not funny. There is... When it's updated, I often use a lot of quality of life mods on here, and you're seeing a few of them from right now with maps and so forth. Say, horribly lost. But I usually use FreeCam, and I took a look once I was in the caves. I looked over the edge manually, so that's part of my sorta don't cheat part. And I say sort of because a lot of people would say it's very cheaty to use like a FreeCam. But I tried looking manually over the edge and saw some skulk, and I was like, yeah. Not going into that skulk by myself kind of thing. Just too scared. I'm a big chicken. But anyways, where I'm going with that part of the story was to say that, so after I looked over the edge, I made sure that the block collision element was enabled on my FreeCam so that I couldn't go through blocks and x-ray them and stuff. But then I'd used it to do a full creative fly down further in this world, below where I'd been working, and yeah. It's one thing if there's skulk there, but we did also have the sensors and the shriekers, and there was no ancient city that I could see through, you know, caves and whatnot, but there certainly was warden material, so I just said, nope, just, that's a nope. So, understandably, I am aware that with the new Minecraft 1.20 drop, I have very badly limited myself with regard to what trims I will be eventually able to get. But frankly, somebody showed me mindtrim.com, where you could, upload your skin, or even just use one of the default skins, and test out what various combinations of trims would look like. And frankly, I think I actually like some of the ones that are easier to get. Far better for my own personal taste. However, I did do a push before 120 came to make sure that I got the netherite stuff upgraded before 120 came, because I was not going to mess with that Bastion nonsense. Where I had come out in the nether the first time on this world, like I've moved my portal since, but where I first came out was uncomfortably close to a Bastion. So I just was walking by kind of thing, and the brute spotted me, and he was not a happy camper, and I didn't want to deal with him, so, there's a good example of being a chicken. But the key for me is enjoying the game, right? No, I actually do not have a totem farm. Because we're on an SMP, one of the other players does have raid farms and such for totems, and so I've gone with a village trading direction, so most of the stuff I need is easily obtainable, which means then I can use diamonds for other things and purchases and stuff. So because I play so incredibly cautiously, a meager supply of totems lasts me for quite a while. Therefore, I don't mind paying for, I think it was 5 totems a diamond or something like that is what the person was selling them for. So it worked. It worked for me. Yeah, I do have an ender chest, and there's a few totems kicking around in there. I just carry one at the moment. Actually, because that tends to live in my hand, I keep forgetting the name of it, and there's a mod I will eventually put on once it gets updated. It's one where it makes, specifically the totem, I think it actually might just be a vanilla tweak, but where it specifically makes the totem itself invisible in your hand, so you'll still see it in the offhand slot on the hotbar, but it won't be in your hand, and that just clears up some of the play zone. There we go. So yeah, frankly put, I'm a perma-noob, and I don't have a problem with that. Does that sound weird? But, as I said, the key is to have fun, and part of the reason I don't mind being so cautious is it still allows me to do things like playing with my kids, because then I have more tolerance for the fact that sometimes they want to spend an awful lot of time in creative or peaceful. But they're not young kids, by the way. They are, but they're not. I guess that makes sense. So, like, I've got 2 in elementary school for now. So, yeah. They're old enough to have fun playing with. They're young enough that one still builds in super bright magenta colors, and the other still blows things up. Kids will be kids. I thought I had one that was underway. Whatever. Okay, this one can go up there. Oh, it's the carrot box. Okay, grass block. Dirt. We're good. You know if I actually put stuff in there? All right. Go away. Rain is gloomy in real life sometimes, and so rain in Minecraft is equally gloomy. That's okay. We're good. We're good. By the way, I know it sounds kind of weird, but I appreciate the compliment of having someone who's far more talented at Minecraft than I am willing to hang out for a little bit. Thank you very much. So one of the things you're seeing on the screen, I should probably explain, is we play a game called Geek Out. It's actually a real board game, or a real card game, party game and stuff. We're playing the Geek Out pop culture version, and in the real game, the offline version, what you would do is there would be bidding to see sort of, I guess you say, boast who can actually reach the target or exceed the target listed on the card for category and number of responses. But for just conversation sake, which is really all the Geek Out is here, we just try to crowdsource the answers. It's not a big deal. Nobody's bidding for points or anything like that against each other. And if we can reach the target, then then move on to a new topic. It doesn't have to stick to one of them. I have fairly frequently used streamer privilege or prerogative to change the topic if we rocket through the answers, or it's one that doesn't seem to fit, or for some reason, even though it's random, we do seem to get repeats from time to time. And rather than sit on the repeats, if it's a bunch of people visiting or viewing that day that I think have seen that one, then I'll just skip it and roll again, sort of thing. So the current topic of Geek Out at the moment is 2 actors who have been in the military. And it doesn't have to be the American military, although the game is an American game, so that's usually what it's based on, even though I'm Canadian. But in this case, I would say I'm going to go with Elvis Presley and Ronald Reagan. And, oh, it's late enough I can sleep. Okay, great. So, yeah, because Elvis Presley famously gave up a bunch of his movie career and acting career to go and be in the military for a while. And then Ronald Reagan I believe was in the military directly, but even if I'm incorrect about that, there's always the angle that, yes, he became president. Oops, what am I doing? There we go. That he became president later, which means he's the commander-in-chief of the military. So that might be kind of cheaty on the question, but there's no rules in the booklet that it comes with that says I can't say stuff like that. Sometimes I answer them, but I usually try to get the chat to answer them if I can. So that one's been cleared up. If we do rocket through, by the way, anyone can do ! Geek Out to change the topic. There's just a 5-minute timer on it so that we don't end up having people go, oh, no good, and we rotate out right away. So now we're back into the movies category. And once again, this one doesn't fit. Let's see, can I get this Geek Out to move? Six non-animated Disney films. These days, that should be easier than it would have been in the past. For 2 reasons. One, just about everybody and their dog knows that Disney owns Miramax and is now the money behind the National Geographic products. So that makes it super duper easy. But also that to say, yeah, I mean, the new studio is bought by Disney, Oh, one of the other rules that the game does specifically have in its paperwork says that if you're dealing with a franchise, you can only name the franchise once. So, for example, Fantastic Sherlock Fox kind of segued into this nicely. That because Disney owns Lucasfilm, you could say Star Wars, anything Star Wars, but you would always say it once because it's got the entire franchise. And it doesn't say in the rules when the cutoff was. So it's not like we have a 90s edition or something like that. So if you want to rocket through that one with the modern films, great. But also it's easy enough these days to talk about the live-action versions of the Disney animated films. I mean, they've done Lion King, Aladdin, and The Mermaid, and there's 3 right there. Okay, let's see. I think I've got this hole covered. Yeah, okay, so where is this part? Okay, that's safe enough. I'm just gonna rip open the roof. Oops. I don't normally like little dips like this. I'll probably fill it in later. But it's not a great big hole. It's going to send any player to their death. So, yeah. We're good. North Harbor mobs. Okay. This bit probably could just... Whoa! Yeah, I was going to say could probably use some filling in so it doesn't get mobs. And I promptly got mob. Lovely. Okay, where's the other side of this? Barn Creeper, where are you? Aha! Go away. Go away. Oops. I think... Let's see, where are we at? Okay, so this one, I'll do that. Yeah, so we're only sitting at 38 deaths right now, so that's not horrible. It's not great by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not horrible. And the majority of those deaths were stupid things, like coming in hot on the Elytra. So, yeah. Sometimes brains is not necessarily there in making some of my decisions in how to play, but, you know, you live, you learn, you laugh, and you move on. Okay, where's the other side of this one? I'm trying to find out where the other side of this hole is. Diggy diggy hole. Philly Philly hole? That's probably just easier to fill this one. I keep saying I'm going to change the death count things so that it can actually count more than one type of Minecraft, but that game tag is tied into Twitch, so it's been a little bit of a bigger pain than I expected. So I have to figure out how to manually tear it apart, tear the code apart. I'm running a bot called StreamerBot, streamer.bot actually, and I love it to pieces, so no arguments or regrets there. It's just that some of the stuff that it does, it's super flexible, so some of the stuff that it does is written in C# code, and I can read it to know generally what's going on and make minor edits, but I'm not a C# coder to know what to do about some of the things if I want to totally copy them and or repeat by turning it into something else. So it just takes a little bit of work. I need to get one of my coder friends to have a look and see if they can help. Because it's pulling a variable from Twitch as to what game you're playing, which is great, but if you're playing different instances of Minecraft, then it needs some work. Hello, Tiz. How are you doing today? Good to see you, my fine friend. What have you been up to lately? Thinking about you this morning, and I was going to talk to you about something that I saw you respond to on Twitter, and now I can't even remember what it was. So if it comes back, I'll let you know. Tiz is a fine friend of ours from the Phantom SMP, and is an amazing, super amazing builder. Is very, very good with organic shapes. So I have a lot of, I'll be honest, I have a lot of build envy on that one. Because Tiz is able to see things in organic shapes and landscaping and stuff that I just don't see. So it's always super cool to have them in attendance. One of the things I love about streaming is that people from all over can partake. You know, it's It's... Oh. It's not like you've got, you know, a particular channel or whatever that you have to be paying for through a service, or it's just everybody can have it. And I like that. I mean, you have to have an internet connection, but those are becoming more and more ubiquitous for everybody these days. So it's kind of nice that everybody can watch. Now, I mean, do we all choose to watch the same service? Not by a long shot. But, you know, people have their favorites, right? Okay, it looks like on the map, like I have a spot that's totally open, which means I have a little bit more work to do over this way. Aha, okay. It's a gray scar. Oh, that's when I chose to leave open. All right. Maybe I should just, yeah, I'm just going to cover the bottom so that it goes all green and I don't keep thinking that I have it left to do. Coffee for the win? Yes. Need all the coffee. Oh, well, I don't know about this whole going well thing then. If you need all the coffee to keep your day going. Okay. If I was... So obviously this part is very thin, and there is a cave below me that has not been solidified. But I can hear the noisy neighbors. Now it looks on the mini-map like there's a few noisy neighbors building up. For those of you that do not know me all that well, I just want to be totally upfront and transparent. I hate spiders, both online and in-game. So, when it gets to be nighttime, they sneak up on me pretty well, and they scare the living daylights out of me. Oh, and we have one wayward villager. Fun. Wonder where he fell to. All right. Sometimes I'm okay with being able to hear the creepers, as in like I can find them, but other days I can't. What is... Oh, that's a cat. Okay. Oh, my villager must have fallen quite low, because I'm not seeing him anymore. Aha. Okay, dude, where are you? Oh, buddy. Seriously. This is like Don't Be Dumb 101. Okay, let's see. What do we got? It stole a bunch of villagers from a nearby village, and this one is dumber than the most, or than the rest, it looks like. There. Can you please get your sorry little villager backside out of the hole? Thank you very much. Are you coming? Okay. What can I reach? What can I reach without going too far down? Let's just fill this puppy up. There. I can reach that. He's gonna be dumb, then I'll make it so he can't get there. There's 9 chances out of 10 I'll end up with like a gazillion mobs coming out of here. Anyway, where were we here? A coffee for the win sometimes. I will admit I was dragging this morning. I don't know what it is. I mean, yes, I know I'm very out of shape. If amorphous blob is a shape, I suppose. So yeah, I'm taking a lot longer to recover from scout camps than I should be. You know, fitness and all that jazz. Which is not fair because not fair to others, because there are people who have, you know, plenty of medical reasons for not necessarily being in the world's best fitness, and those of us who just don't because I'm lazy, have no real excuse for our cheesy behavior. Anyway, suffice to say, my point is that coffee was really, really helpful to get me motivated this morning because everything ached. So coffee with a leaf was nice. I have torches. I do have torches. Let's start with this. That'll make life a little easier.
All right, now next is entertainment. We want to show Steve a good time, but, well, we don't
Okay, Botter Osman.
know what he likes. The best thing I know
You are noisy. Close this up. One of the things about Minecraft I wish was renewable sometimes is dirt. I know it sounds dumb, but when I'm doing landscaping projects like this or I'm just filling holes, I really do wish that the dirt was renewable, because I know that I'm going to run out before I finish the project, and then I have to go figure out where I want to peel down from. Okay, wheat seeds, some junk that goes here. Pardon me. Empty shulker box. Empty goes there. Carrots can go up there too, actually. There, now I know that all the stuff in my inventory is supposed to be there. Right? Works. Okay, so this one, what's that? That's dirt. Get some more of that. Empty. Oh. And there we go. Gone are the days when we could hike 5 miles, sleep on hard ground, no problem, eat whatever, and then be fine the next day. Yep. Totally agreed, and then some.
Now we come to the thrilling final episode of our radio drama.
Totally agreed. That's okay. You know, like, I still enjoy it. I'm still gonna... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I didn't think this through. There we go. Yeah, I didn't think this through properly. But yeah, so I'm still going to try going backpacking with my scout group this summer, because it's sort of like the intro backpacking thing, and that should give me a much better gauge of just how badly out of shape I am. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like it, like the answer, but it's necessary, partly because we're a little short on leaders for the upcoming year, and that means that if I don't go, there's a chance that some of the kids won't be able to go, and that's not okay in my world. So on the bright side, though, one of our Cub Scout leaders, who's got like multiple kids, this last year he has not been a scout leader, even though he had a kid in that section, and it's just because he had some life stuff he had to deal with first, and now that he's got that under control, he's really looking forward to being a scout leader, and he's one of those ones who has a body frame that's hard to get out of shape, and has also been really heavily encouraged to remain in shape for his health purposes. So that's good news. And then I've got another leader who, I'll be honest, she looks like she's not in shape, but is in far better shape than she looks, kind of thing. And so that gives us 2. And the way the Canadian Scout rules go, we absolutely must have 2 leaders at all times to do anything. So I think we'll be in good stead, but that gives me flexibility and opportunity to try and do some sort of get myself in gear part, because I want to be able to partake in these adventures and have fun with the youth, keep showing them stuff, or keep watching as they grow and learn, because that part is one of my favorite parts about being a leader, is being able to see when a kid learns something that's new to them and they get this sort of like aha confidence thing. I really like that part of it, and I don't like the idea that I'm locking myself out of that by choosing not to be in shape. On the other hand, over COVID, I have discovered that I absolutely love the streaming thing. Didn't like being a scout leader on Zoom. That was not fun. But that's what gave me some of the skills to be able to do this. So, you know, you win some, you lose some. If I'm finding myself getting more short of breath than you think... Sorry, if you're finding yourself getting more short of breath than you think you should be, you could think about having your iron level checked. That's actually kind of funny that you mentioned that. Not the I have done so part, but that there was a time when Fantastic Sherlock Fox actually had to take supplements because he had low iron level to the point where in his younger years, before we got together, before we even really knew each other, he passed out from low iron. So I totally get that element. I actually tend to love iron-rich foods, including things like spinach, which is weird, but yeah, I love my spinach. And that's not a spinach salad. I actually don't like those as much as steamed spinach, which most people think is kind of crazy when I say it, but yeah. But I need to pay more attention to that sometimes. And the other thing I have to be careful of, though I definitely taking that suggestion to heart, is the temptation to blame it on nutrient levels. I just want to like OTC supplement up and call it a day. It's very, very tempting for me to do that and not actually get anything checked properly. One of the things that I keep being lazy about, I guess you could say, is following through on the entire set of tests for wheat sensitivity. I know I'm lactose sensitive in a big way, but you combine that with wheat and the behavior of the negative symptoms regarding wheat or gluten sensitivity is through the roof. But the problem is that I'm incredibly stubborn, and there's one particular set of testing I just have refused to do, and my GP does not want to go on a probable diagnosis without that batch of testing, so we're kind of, the two of us are sort of at odds, I guess. Even though a lot of the medical stuff today is saying, hey, you can do without the test that I don't want, and we can prove it this other way, my GP's not like that. She's a little bit old school in that respect. So, you know, you can't win them all, right? So I really should just get through that one, because if I'm gluten sensitive or celiac or something along those lines, then that could be partly related to the whole problem, because what if my system is not absorbing the nutrients that I am giving it, right? And that can cause all kinds of other problems. It also can lead to obesity, partly because your system will grab onto any and every nutrient that it can find, and if it's not the ones it needs at that point, it stores them. So which, of course, we store things as fat. And yeah, that doesn't go over well. Ooh, and I don't know which one it is, but it's more, I'm going to bet JBT is my mystery sleeper today. It's kind of funny. If sleeping isn't getting done and JBT's online with me, eventually it just starts happening that he tends to be the sleeper. I think that just has a lot to do with him being aware that I'm a streamer, and so then he just goes, oh, yeah, the sleeping isn't happening. Who's online? Oh, and then covers it. But I'm not sure if that's the case. It seems to be that way a lot. Oh, poor bunny. Well, you're stuck. Sorry, dude. Actually, maybe I should be a little nicer than that. Come on, bunny. There you go. If I scare you loose, that works, apparently. Okay, where is the big section of the dark? This'll work. Yeah, that'll be enough. Got all kinds of catacomb-y things going on. I've never tried it with cream cheese, actually. Interesting. I'm literally just a steamed spinach with a little bit of butter and salt, and I'm good. Warm wilted, I guess, is probably even better. only because a lot of people I know don't necessarily successfully do steamed spinach in a way that comes out a whole lot different than boiled spinach. And that can be a little sus at times. Yeah, I do like things like that. I love a good steak. I kind of feel sorry for those that are sensitive and have their reasons for being vegetarian because they miss out on the flavor. But I mean, some people actually are, like my sister-in-law is actually vegetarian for flavor reasons, so flavor and texture reasons. So to each their own, right? Butter makes everything better, but my thought on that is very sparingly. I also grew up on Paula Deen and went, no way. So yeah, because Paula Deen was kind of like, if Emeril Lagasse was known for adding heat and giving you BAM, Paula Deen was known for adding a pound of butter or more to everything. And the funny part is, nowadays, I was reading that she and her son are actually trying to re-release a lot of her cookbooks with the new lighter version, which has basically just been tweaked to take out a lot of the butter, which I find kind of funny. Removing the thing that one was so known for, but I mean, it's even impacting our own health, so you got to stay ahead of that. The other thing, though, is, I'll be honest, it sounds silly, but I'm cheap. And how that plays into this whole, fitness jazz is that I love the fashion look of outdoor wear. Like the parachute material, cargo pocketed pants, that sort of thing. They're very, very comfortable. I'm learning a couple things, like the materials used to make that are, for a larger person, more of a privilege than a right. In my world, just for me, other people can wear whatever they want. I'm not going to judge them. But that also means that I have, in the past, spent some good money on clothing I quite like that I would like to wear again. This is not like, keeping your favorite jeans or something like that and assuming you're ever going to fit them again. Thankfully, a lot of this outdoor wear is far more forgiving. But that said, like all clothes these days, it's fairly expensive, and I just do not want to keep replacing it and then, at some point, invalidating it by sizing out of it in a good direction. I'd rather actually get back there before I end up invalidating the pants in the first place. Before I even buy the larger size. So yeah. It's not the world's most bright topic to be talking about, but it's things like it's raining outside, but I intend to try and at least make myself get up and do a bunch of stuff around the house and maybe run some errands and things like that to make sure that I'm not sitting as still as I was. It's not going to solve everything overnight, but hey, baby steps, right? Oh yeah. Well, it's one of the other things too, those, is you're probably well aware of the why behind some of the Pioneer Woman recipes. Having so much butter often had to do with the stuff that they were consuming actually not having a whole lot of fat to it, healthy fat or otherwise. And so butter is one of the easiest ways to add fats. And the human body tolerates it better long term than we do often a lot of the lactoses with the fat in it by default. So the lactose sugars and stuff are not fully removed. I mean, you don't get, lactose-free butter is actually a thing, as in, companies remove it. But it's still one of those things where our bodies can often tolerate it better than we can the milk products as we get to be grown up. So things like, they call it, one of the more well-known examples would be the fact that if you eat a stew of rabbit that had exclusively nothing but rabbit in it, you actually eventually would starve because it's such a lean meat. And one of the ways to help combat that is to be adding, lards and butters and so on to go with it into the mix. And that's just because it helps it be a less lean meat. Where am I here? Exactly, yeah. Well, and that's another part of it, moderation in everything, including moderation. Sometimes I practice that latter section a little too frequently. Just in terms of using that as my excuse to not do something. But that's where I don't have the motivation. And as much as some of our friends like Dadcraft would like to say, just do it. Stop complaining and just do it. That's easier said than done. Because games like Minecraft, for example, are incredibly fun and incredibly tempting to just play for hours and hours and hours. So I fall into the trap of doing just that. It's funny, when I'm camping, I think Minecraft. When I'm Minecraft, I think scouting. It's just weird. Someone was asking me yesterday, I feel bad because there was someone from apparently my stream and my Discord. I still owe them more apologies. But I didn't recognize the name. I was a little concerned because it sounded very much like the name of one of my daughter's real-life friends who would... go away. One of my daughter's real-life friends who would be not old enough... Where are you, skeleton? Not old enough for Discord? Where are you? And so I was kind of gently trying to check. And so then they reminded me where they were from, etc., etc. But legit, I had not remembered that because... Oh, move, buddy. One down. There. Go away. Where's the other one? I had not... Yeah, I had legit been thinking about scouting stuff. And that's actually why I'd forgotten about this person. So no fault of their own in any way, but I just felt sort of silly because I'd forgotten about them. Or had not recognized them. Oh, would you just... Trying to fill a hole without getting shot, and I'm getting shot, So anyways, it's just funny how I think about things back and forth in the opposite direction. Hey, Shallow Stack.
Oh, hello there.
Okay. Well, welcome on in. Thank you very, very much for coming by. Yeah, we're just chill, hanging out, and I'm kind of going to be wrapping up the conversation about my own personal fitness fairly soon, because that's not exactly the world's most cheery conversation. But yeah, just noting that when I'm playing Minecraft, I think about scouting because I always have so much to do, and then when I'm out doing a scouting activity, I'm thinking about Minecraft and wishing I was playing. As far as the world today, we are just filling in some holes. Sorry, I really have to get the sound clip for that because I keep filling in holes so often that I need the Doc McStuffins sound clip. There's an episode in the Disney Youth program of Doc McStuffins where Doc McStuffins is diagnosing a very sad and upset lawn sprinkler, one of those decorative what do you call it, like octopus ones or something. And ooh, it is dark. And the lawn sprinkler is saying, that if the doc can't help them, then they're stuck just simply being nothing more than a lawn ornament with holes. And I can't do the impression very well. My voice is really messed up of late, and I think it's because of allergies, partly allergies, but also we've got really dry air here right now. And normally my system's used to that, But sometimes things get dry enough that
Hi there. What a wonderful time for you to drop by. You know, they're just setting up to shoot a
big hole's very needed.
star.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's the rando hole. I'll show you in just a second here what the project is. Oh,
Brilliant new performer.
creeper.
I think this one will not only win every award hands down, but just
Kind of like that.
hearts of people all over the country.
That
I want you to meet a great
creepers are able, like, they're able to see you vertically, which is kind of annoying, and they come after you. But I also kind of like the fact that even though they can see you and they end up aligning themselves right underneath you, that they don't seem to be able to blow up vertically. If they could, that would be highly annoying. So the plan, where are we here? I guess I should back up the whole story and show you where we're at. So this space, oh, we have another village, forgot about that. Built the castle thing first. So that's one of these like Motten Baileys. There's the faux keep, it's my iron farm. There's the castle there, and then we've got, on this right-hand side, we've got a monastery / abbey. And this is sort of influenced by the mystery series Brother Cadfael Chronicles, which is set in the 1130s, I believe. And it's based off of the real place of Shrewsbury, sort of fictionalized version, who really did have a monastery, and they used some of the appropriate names and roughly the right years and stuff, so they've basically fictionalized the reality. And, oops, pardon me. And then the idea being that, oh shush, crazy guy. The idea being that I want to put, I was going to make the village this big, but I realized based on A, the scale of the castle, and how big the buildings are, if I want to put a village in here, this much space is probably not going to cut it. So I'm covering off some of the big holes, which I just tried to avoid earlier, by covering off some of these holes so that I can extend the fence further, which actually be a little bit more realistic as well, because Shrewsbury as itself is on an Oxbow River, so this section down here to the south would actually get chopped through. I'm not going to bother with that level of terrain, but this is quite a ravine, and so we figured we got a nice space that looks somewhat realistic, so I can pull out the fence or wall and maybe go just south of the snow and work my way around most of the plains part of this. And yeah, the project became a lot bigger in the fencing than I anticipated, but it makes the game a bit more realistic. So it gives me a lot of work to work on, because this is not a finished wall yet, but it feels pretty big in the first place. And yeah, that's where we're at. But if this is the first time seeing me, I'll drop that who is again. This makes life easier. And this one. Maybe. Oh, there we go. So I hang out and play Minecraft while my kids are in school, and probably when I should be out exercising was really where all that other part was going. Because I'm a scout leader for 2 different age sections in addition to being a streamer, and that just results in a lot of time thinking about the opposite thing. That's really what it boils down to. This is Vanilla Minecraft. It's a server by Dadcraft73 for his Patreon supporters. He's got 3 of them, and this particular one is Java. He does have a Bedrock one and a modded Java one. This one's supposed to be vanilla Java, but I like a lot of quality of life mods, particularly maps, just because I tend to get really rather lost rather easily. How long have I been working on this one? When did we open? February, I think? I archive all my VODs rather direct, as in non-altered. I think I've only ever altered one. So I do have a YouTube channel where I archive all the VODs, and so I think it's been February. Occasionally you'll find that we'll have a stream weekend, but that's not a common thing for this particular group. We were trying to do it monthly, and work around the Truly Bedrock streams. Not exactly super successful at that, but we try. We try. So it's a community of more older people, meaning like adults. Not everybody has kids, but I think we've got a few that are in their 20s and some university age ones, but you don't have a whole lot of the teen type attitude going on. And it's just the way it worked out. You know, nothing pros or cons. Family friendly is the way to go around here. Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, my first experience... Would you stop getting stuck? My first experience with Minecraft... Ooh, that would be a nasty hole to fall in. First experience with Minecraft were mobile, but it wasn't through playing first, actually. It was... We went and watched a channel that Fantastic Sherlock Fox had found, just trying to find out what is this Minecraft thing that everybody's going on about, because it's popular. And it was a YouTube channel that's no longer active, called Family Friendly Minecraft, I think it was. Anyway, do I really want to bother filling this one up? That'll take too many supplies, so for now, I'll just torch it. So that's where we started, and we thought, hey, this is kind of fun. Let's actually check it out. Now, I played a little bit vanilla on the Minecraft Pocket Edition that was for iOS at the time, and that was great. But then we were watching another series from a different YouTuber and discovered Sebtech, the modded format, and I quite liked how it was gated. So my real experience with... Oh, yeah, I guess that's why I'm filling it up. My real experience with Minecraft was playing through a lot of the Sebtech series. I got as far as going up to space and a couple of the planets and didn't really like the game after that, so I just stopped. And there really was no sort of finite end. You just keep going further and further out in the solar system, so it became a lot of rinse and repeat, which was not my cup of tea. Then, I don't know where I went to after that, but I had switched over to PC quite solidly by then. So before Bedrock came along with their Play Together, we got Play Together update, so that multiple versions could be the same. I quite like the concept of that. It has some very nasty parity headaches, but I've played both versions, because that way we can play it all together, some on tablets and some on laptops. And we have, we did get in on the ground floor for everyone in our family, or just about everyone in our family, on one of the earlier purchase bonuses, where if you bought, what was it? I think it was if you bought Java Minecraft, you got Bedrock free, or vice versa. I can't remember which one it was. So everybody in our family had both versions before the more recent changes by Microsoft to make it you buy one, you get both thing. And while I like the idea of having everybody play together, I just really wish that had been a direct 100% copy. I don't think Java's better or worse than Bedrock. There are perks to both, but there's enough differences in parity that sometimes it really frustrates me to be playing the opposite version and wish for a feature that was in this one. So, you know. So currently with 120, I've got, I play this world as the SMP, which is Java, and then I'm playing a solo Bedrock world. Partly because I'm, what do you call it, rusty at Bedrock and want to get back into it, just for familiarity's sake. But also because, I guess because I could, maybe, that if I'm doing solo, there are no other people to rescue you when it comes to needing to grind for supplies or something. And in that case, the ability to log in and go AFK from a mobile device is super duper helpful, so that I don't have to be doing a lot of that from my computer and tying up the machine. Thank you, Rabbit. You're being really dumb. I'm in a hole. Okay, let's go back the other way. So yeah, sometimes having cut my teeth on Sebtech, some of the vanilla Minecraft mechanics eventually drive me crazy. but it is what it is. Your sister-in-law did a stream weekend with her crew and got your whole family sucked into Minecraft. You've been playing ever since. Yeah, that's about the size of it. I think I'm a bit stronger than my kids did, although I'm a former World of Warcraft player. And once again, not well, just addicted. And so just having something that I could pick up and take with me was really tempting. Apparently I've got some sort of weird glitch going on where I have my mini-maps showing up even though I didn't turn them on. What are you doing, you crazy game? Let's give me a quick second to see what I've set for my key commands. Journey map. What is this? Change map type. Can I make this one into that? Nope, that's becoming something else. Nope. Wow. Okay. We have a lot of stuff. Where am miscellaneous journey map? Find minimap M. Oh, I see. Okay. There we go. Toggle mod? What mod? Interesting. Make this one that. Plug all waypoints. No. End. Nope. Home. There. Okay. Show hide full screen map. Should be J. Here's toggle mod. Okay, toggle mod here will be, let's make you F6. Sure. And I'm not using shaders. So let's go. Let's just leave that. Oh, whoa, oops, reset. Done. Okay. Let's go. M. Okay, and then. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Okay. Now I know why that was showing up. Even, let's see. But Shallowstack says, my wife and I only play on Java. Bedrock doesn't run on Linux. Yet. Yeah, I've been playing on vanilla for an event and got really used to Vault Hunters, Dash, and Backpacks. I miss them so. Weirdly, I've done some Vault Hunters. I actually thought, yeah, I'm enjoying this instead of vanilla. This is great. We're chalking this up to the I am horrible at it category. So I'm taking a undetermined length break from it. I don't know what happened. The biggest issue for me, actually, I shouldn't say the biggest, one of the bigger issues for me is that I keep letting myself get swarmed by characters. So I wasn't great at it early on. So, the other part of it is I don't do well when I've got an adrenaline rush going on that's like an outright fear one. I make silly mistakes. Vault Hunters is really good at that. But the other thing is that I've got some mild to moderate arachnophobia, both in and out of game. So I'm learning to handle the vanilla spiders, no problem. In Minecraft, I just get swarmed by them as one piece, and then I am the anticipatory fear of the in-vault Vault Hunter spiders was just far more than I could handle. I've seen one a couple of times, not to mention that it's just bigger and uglier in the visual sense, so very much triggering, but oh, go away, you micro monster. But also confirmed by other players that the spiders in the vaults appear to move faster. So apparently it's not my imagination. They do seem to move faster, which is not great for someone who's bothered by spiders. Particularly the what do you call them? Boss spiders, I guess? I forget, there's a special term for it. I can't remember what that term was. But those ones are confirmed by other players to be apparently moving faster. So that freaks me out more than I can handle. And yeah, it falls under the category on one hand of get good, and on the other hand of, yeah, well, good luck with that. So, you know, you pick your battles, and I think we started a new season on the vanilla server here, and I just never stopped. Other than the solo world. I mean, the perk to a solo world is, and something that Vault Hunters is not conducive to, is forcing a person to learn to do things in Minecraft they may not have done before because they don't have other players to rescue them with further assistance. So automated farms and actually going up against mobs that they don't particularly like, etc., etc. So there's a lot. Yeah, that was part of my plan too with the adrenaline factor. So Shadowstack says, I totally get that adrenaline thing. I started playing Vault Hunters to get better at that. But yeah, the spiders in the vaults are not fun. I don't blame you one bit on that. There was someone who was looking at, I think it was in Vault Hunters with Friends Discord, was looking at trying to make alternative models for the spiders, and was not successful, unfortunately, which is too bad. I was hoping for something like a super high-speed giant turtle or something. Like, I would not mind being, I guess you could say, chased down and eaten by a giant tortoise or something like that. That doesn't really bother me. I think that would have been kind of neat. There's another mod pack, not a mod pack, a resource pack that was made for Java, and I thought about putting it on here, where they swapped out the spiders with ladybugs. And the ladybugs were either red-backed or green-backed, depending on whether it's overworld spiders or cave spiders. Or sorry, above ground or cave spiders. But someone else said, yeah, you're going to end up getting scared of ladybugs, which is not the case. However, the mod pack, or the resource pack, however they did it, unfortunately was not compatible with the later versions of Minecraft, and they have not fixed it. And it does not look, from the limited amount I've been able to see in Reddit, whole different rant available on the Reddit thing right now, but does not look, from the limited amount that I've seen, that they have any intent whatsoever of updating it for the later packs. So I'm not going to fight with the non-compatible elements. Okay, is this... So, you know, everybody's got their own style, right? As Dadcraft loves to say, we all have a permit. We've all got a permit. Parks and Rec style, we've got a permit to do what we want. Why am I getting so much noise from over here? Is there a cave? Yep, there's a cave piece I didn't see. Oh, nope, that's not. There we go. Can't harbor little monsters now. Alright, so, yeah. That's okay. Things are different. It's always good to see, meet new friends. It's one of the things I love about streaming, is, for the most part, in real life, I'm an introvert. And that sounds funny to say when I'm in Minecraft and I'm streaming, but sometimes it's the control that one has when you're streaming. So, for example, in real life, I can burn out a lot on people, or I can get put on the spot by people. Minecraft gives you a lot more control in that respect. I used to do tech support for a living, and you get put on the spot a lot. I still hate live phone calls for that sort of reason. For the most part, I will do, you know, people get hold of me by text or get hold of me by email or something, so that I have the opportunity to consider my response without putting in verbal or physical body language. But, you know, as I said, can't win them all. So, yeah, if you've got to lurk, go right ahead and lurk as long as you need. What time is it? 12:30. Okay. So technically I've been 2 hours, but I think I'm going to run to the top of the full hour and then call her a day. As I was starting to say earlier, my voice is still really dried out, and I think a lot of it is the dried air. And it's not just a matter of hydrating. It's just one of those ones where your system tries to compensate, and that gunk that it uses to compensate can become post-nasal drip and then that just totally messes with your vocal cords. There's not much I can do about it, other than try to stay hydrated in real life. Which, you know, coffee isn't your friend in that respect, but we didn't have coffee. Yeah. I was watching a something akin to Honest Trailers the other day on YouTube, and it was someone being really quite blunt about the honestness of what coffee is and who we pay for it and how much they get paid and all that other social justice stuff, which you know, I kind of see where they're coming from. But I'll admit, if I had to pick any chemical substance on the planet to be addicted to, I think caffeine in lower quantities probably is one that I don't have any regrets over being addicted to. I don't get headaches or something if I don't have it, but there's definitely behavior changes. Alrighty, are we getting anywhere closer? Okay, this hole is less troublesome, so that's probably getting good. By the way, for anyone who's played both Java and Bedrock, one of the things I'm noting of late by being dehydrated and stuff is that the likelihood I've got of being motion sick while playing Minecraft has increased. I don't think it's just a field of view thing. So if anyone has any tips or tricks, or knows what field of view in either version to try out to see if you can combat this problem, that would be very much appreciated. It's putting a little bit of a damper on my style, making me feel like artificially hot in the summer and so forth, and you know, headaches and that kind of jazz. So I'm enjoying it. I just want to try and battle that as best I can. But thank you very much for being part of the stream, Shallow Stack. Always a pleasure meeting new people, or new to me people, because it sounds like you know what you're at. Definitely a cave back there, and I'm glad I filled it in, because it seems like it's got a lot of busy neighbors, including some little ones, which we don't need. I know I should be able to place blocks faster, but I find if I attempt to, they're going to stack up double or triple or whatever. And then I miss things and end up with pockets. And one of these days, that rabbit will get all the way to the top. I wonder what it was trying to path to. Okay, where are we here? Oops. There are the vagaries of Delenn trying to place blocks faster. Okay. Get that. Let's just do this. Not the slow enough way necessarily, but let's try it the old-fashioned way. Sorry for getting quiet there. Apologies, my throat was a little bit dry and I was thinking about, am I doing this right? It's funny, I've been here a year, well, year and a half actually, doing this streaming gig, and I still have problems sometimes putting the inside voice on the outside. is sharing everything that's going on in my brain, and I don't even realize they're doing it. So, yeah, always something to grow and improve, right? All right. One of the YouTubers I watch, the Picklesworth, was saying at one point that for him it took a lot, even making YouTube videos, it took a lot of time for him to practice and get good at putting his inside thoughts on the outside to keep the conversation going. And that's part of why I don't make YouTube videos, aside from not necessarily knowing what I want to do a video about, but also that sometimes talking to a wall or a lack of other individuals is easier for me in Twitch than it would be in YouTube, just because in YouTube you guarantee you're talking to 0 people, right? You know you're talking to 0 people. Whereas in Twitch, sometimes 0, sometimes you can play off other people. All right, so that said, I'm in the mood for a new Geek Out. So what's a new topic we've got? Oh, okay. Good luck with that. So I'm actually going to skip that one because I don't like that one. Ew. Okay, but this is dark. Jeepers Creepers. There we go. 2 shows that originally aired on Nickelodeon. That's safe. I was not much of a Nickelodeon person. I don't remember a lot of them, but I'm thinking we're talking things like Phineas and Ferb. And I think stuff like Paw Patrol was a what do you call it? A Nick program. I'm not really sure who's in charge of what. The thing is, in Canada, quite often, you wouldn't necessarily know which networks, like Nickelodeon or whatever, had particular programs because in Canada it's a different network name altogether. But it's not necessarily a one-to-one, it's often like a third network that just is getting the rights to air it in Canada. There's certain shows I didn't even know were, say, Nick programming until... Or I didn't even know they were Nickelodeon programming until I saw them on streaming later on. So, for example, Netflix has a bunch of Nickelodeon programs for youth that I had seen on completely different channels. Oh, yes. See, now that's the thing. Like, up here we call it Adult Swim, whereas I think Adult Swim was Cartoon Network in Canada. Not totally sure. But we also had what I think it was known as Nick at Night. So it'd be basically the evening stuff from Nickelodeon, which is definitely more adult material. And I mean, on the safer to talk about side of that, we got things like Harvey Birdman and yeah, there's a few that I won't mention. Okay, this one, if I was to fall into that hole, I would not be too upset, so I'm just going to leave that there because we're running low on supplies. Let's go north and north is this way, and see what that other gray marker is. Hello, Rabbitland. Okay. I do not want to fall into that. How far as I go down? Yeah, that's one. I'm just going to fill up this spot. Yeah, I think Adult Swim was Cartoon Network, which means that we had a whole bunch of different ones. And the sad part about, I mean, the thing about being Canadian, I love being Canadian, so no arguments there. But there are some things that sometimes because our styling of things is often similar to the United States, not stolen necessarily, but similar enough that sometimes I'm not necessarily always aware of what is Canadian original programming versus what is re-aired American programming. So every once in a while we'll get a question like this, and then I'll think, oh yeah, well that's easy to answer. It was such and such. And then I realize, wait a minute, nope. The answer I was going to give I shouldn't say nobody, but very few people watching in the stream would actually have any clue what program that was because it was a Canadian one. Like, for example, there was one about naming 4 children's performers from the United States. And I was going, okay, well, we've got, and I started thinking of a few, and I'm like, okay, so we had, like up here, we had the Friendly Giant and Mr. Dressup and Fred Penner. And people are like, I don't know who any of those people are. Well, that's because they're Canadian. Pick songs with the name of a body part in the title. Interesting. Okay. So, we'll go with Beatles to start with because they have got I Want to Hold Your Hand. And you can make bad parody titles out of some of them. Hey, Scrublord, good to see you. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. You caught me when I'm about 15 minutes left, but I'm really appreciative that you were able to take some time to drop by. We are filling some more of the holes. We're filling some more of the holes in the world. And I just stopped after filling some holes, and a little bit of a hole. Don't know where I was. Probably a good thing. Let's see. Yeah, that's a crease that might bring baddies. So I'll jump in this part of the hole. Jump in the hole. Yeah, the day's been going well. Just getting some packing done. Packing. So I'm curious, Scrublord. You had mentioned recently that that you would be starting a different type of employment soon. I'm just curious, what sort of work that new job would entail. And by the way, congratulations to you for new employment and diversifying. Whether it was wanted or not, it doesn't matter. I just want to say congrats on the new position and diversifying. And also on having a new place, because moving can be fun, right? The new places offer new opportunities. And new opportunities, there's got to be some way to finish that sentence. But new opportunities can be amazing, I guess. Maybe I'll leave it at that. And if the question was too personal, you don't have to answer, because it just occurred to me after it came out of my mouth that I probably should not have asked that. Based on previous conversations, Scrublord, it sounds like you have quite a lot of stuff to pack that can probably be packed up before the major move, because you wouldn't necessarily need to use it on a day-to-day basis. I think you were mentioning earlier that you and I had some common ground when it comes to interests in board games and such. And those are always fun to play, but when it comes to packing time, that's one of the few times we wish we suddenly didn't have all that much stuff. Ooh, you have a 3D print working finally after 2 fails. I would not be surprised, Fantastic Shock Fox, if the fails were related to the temperature of the filament, or pardon me, the moisture content of the filament. It's been really weird weather around here. I saw a neat one. Someone had the other day that they posted in Dadcraft73's D&D channel. Can't remember what he was calling it. Like the channel is called, but the person had printed a dice box, so a box for their dice. It said D&D on the top of it, and the a nice little spot for each one of a single set of dice to fit. I just thought that was just a cool little box that they were doing, and it came out quite nicely. Going to be some kind of lawn care. Not sure what you'll be doing yet, but it'll be dispersing fertilizer, weed killer, and the like. So more grass care as opposed to lawn maintenance. Not sure what I'll be doing yet. Cool, though. There'll be a point in not too long where I'll be able to ask you questions as the knowledgeable individual in chat. I'm certainly not. Aside from being able to get sod to take, I am brown thumb when it comes to yards. It's a good thing that Fantastic Sherlock Fox is the one that mows, because he and I are very, very different opinions when it comes to lawn care issues. Namely things like mowers, you know? But even how often and when and how much to take care of lawns and water and whatnot. Very different opinions. So it'd be nice to have a third voice in that category. That's true, some nice outdoor time, and a good chance to, if you're into that sort of thing, to stay physically fit. I will say some of the best years that I ever had with physical fitness, just generically, was when I was working at a theme park, because even if you were in the food services I was, it was one of those ones where you had to be on your feet all day, no question. And so, like our generic footwear, everybody, or I should say everybody, a lot of people were recommending buying sets of hiking boots just for your day-to-day usage. I'm assuming a job like this would be similar. Ooh. I think we're having a weather shift come in because my headache is kicked up pretty badly, which is too bad because I'm enjoying myself. But it's also a reminder to get out, get away from the computer, and do other things, right? I love the computer, but, you know. Anyway, let's see. Where are we here? The 4.5 to... Ah. So are you guys driving a moving truck yourself, or did you... Okay. Or did you hire a moving company? Sounds like if you're getting day before service, then it sounds like it's rented vehicle. But I'm always curious to know. Okay, you, sir. Jungle sapling. I do not have many. Do I care? Not particularly. Goodbye. Join the way of the dodo. Where's your buddy? No more robots, please. Where'd the buddy go? Okay, well, if I see him, I shall dispatch him. Don't know where the other llama went. Okay, where are we here? Oh yeah, we've done it both ways over the years. I think the very first time when I moved out, my father drove the truck. When we moved from one house to another, we drove the truck, and that was interesting because we weren't familiar with the neighborhood enough to know where the closest self-storage unit was, so we picked one further away and then had to go back and forth quite a bit. And then the third time, we saved up and managed to get a moving company. That was probably the best. However, when we had the moving company, it was probably one of the more chaotic days because we had a lot of people that were able to try and be underfoot for the unpacking process just because they were not the ones doing the physical arm loading of moving in and out from the actual truck. So it's not like you could just give them a job and know that they're out of the way. But I would say, you know, the more hands make things lighter is definitely an adage when you're moving. So are you going to be on your own, or will you be having roommates? Because roommates always make things a little less expensive. I mean, it's when you've got, you know, like Fantastic Shock Fox and I are partnered, we're clearly our own roommates, right? That's the way that goes. But I don't know if you've got roommates or someone else or whatever going on in this one. Ah. Yeah, well, Fantastic Shock Fox, you've moved a lot more than I have and have far more experience with the moving. Well, all but one of my life moves, Fantastic Shock Fox has been there. Because I didn't move till later in life, whereas Fantastic Shock Fox himself has been in many, many more places around the world with their moving, or his moving. I can see why you'd be sick and tired of it. On the other hand, with every subsequent move, you've been more in control of your moves than you would have been in previous ones. Oof. I feel like I've got a hole in the ground. Ah, okay, it's not green, that's all it is.
Hello.
Hello, Big Hairy GM. You are coming in at the right time. Sorry that I will not be on too much longer here. As much as I love to run overtime, and you've seen me do it, I don't think I'll be running a lot past the hour today just because I'm starting to get a little motion sick, which means I need to take a break and go have some more water and run errands and stuff. It's a smart time to do that sort of thing. But while we can, I love your company. It's always a good thing. I don't know why it's been happening a lot lately. I think could also be partly with the allergies and stuff that it's messing with my balance centers in the ears. You know, so there's plenty to cry around about. And I don't really need to be wasting people's time with that. Let's see, do we do west or south? Let's do west because I'll forget about those holes and then fall in them. Or I'll have nasty little surprises come out and get me from them. Ooh. Yeah, whole nasty little surprises part. Yeah, I don't like this spot because of stuff like that. We're just going to cover this in. All right. Let's see, what can I reach? Reach that? Sure. As I mentioned earlier, the reason I'm covering it 3 deep as much as I can is just it gives me some flexibility when I dig down. If I can. Oops. All right. And really, I'm just trying to make it, I shouldn't say flat. That flat's not what I'm looking for. I just want to be able to fence it in a little easier without fencing in some holes and losing villagers along the way. Speaking of losing villagers, I bet you that villager we tried to rescue earlier, the armor guy, has probably got himself into some more trouble by now. Throw a torch over there. And I'm moving slow. I really need to get those sneaky pants. You're over here. Oh, yeah. There we go. Got 4. I'm just hoping I have enough. We gotta get through in there. Right, once again, I apologize for being quiet. I don't know what it is with me today. It's like I've reverted back to, the first time I streamed. I know better. So, Big Hairy GM, what have you been up to lately? If you've got the time to say. I've been a little bit remiss in asking my friends what they've been doing. You've been hearing all about what I've been up to, but not so much on what you've been up to. Reach over there? No, apparently not. Okay, that's fine. Let's go this way. Oops.
The records are right in the cabinet.
It's funny, now that I've been doing a little bit of the Bedrock with 120 and looking at the suspect sand and suspect gravel, my brain keeps looking at these going, it's suspect, or is it? Or is it? I don't know. And which is dumb because I know perfectly well that dirt isn't. Especially not in areas where it's already been pre-generated and stored for weeks. Me, sorry. Where am I going here? Come on. Fine. Please put a block there. In real life, got some dark things going on, not the place to speak of it, but in Minecraft I'm expanding and improving a spruce village with various builds, hiding auto farms. All I'm going to say about the real life stuff, because this is, I don't want to dig, it's not my place, is I really do hope that things start going better for you soon, and to know that even if I don't know what's going on, I want to send you my support. Okay, so that's as far as I'm going to go on that one. But also to note that when things are rough, sometimes it's really nice to have an escape like Minecraft. When your head's just not being super duper cooperative, and life just isn't being cooperative, and it's great to have a game like this where we can build our own world, but guaranteed it looks nothing like real world, enough that there's no confusion, and it doesn't look like real world enough to be, in most cases, enough to be triggering. Exceptions do exist, like as I've mentioned in the past. you know, my arachnophobia and stuff like that. Yeah, so lots of good thoughts for tough times. It seems to be unfortunate that quite a number of our community friends here are having various different sorts of tough times. Some of them it's looking up, some of them are still struggling, but it just, I don't know what it is right now. The world is, for lack of a better term, and please don't take this as making light of anything, but right now it really does feel like the world has gone extra weird. Sort of like we knew the world was weird to begin with, and it seems to have gotten worse in terms of more weird. And so many of our Minecraft friends are having some challenges. Minecraft or streaming or otherwise, online friends are having plenty of challenges. And yeah, I just don't want anybody to think that... Anyways, so rather than dwelling and getting uber dark or anything like that, just want to say, yeah, take the time you need, and I'm glad you're here because, you know, we do our best to try and be a little bit of an escape from whatever people are working on and doing during the day. So in Minecraft, you said you were expanding and improving a spruce village with various builds, hiding auto farms. Cool! I love it when I hear about people's creativity. I still have an awful lot to learn. I'm not very good with auto farms. There's some that are my go-to almost all the time. And then, you know, the super basic ones like melons and stuff like that. But there's a lot of auto farms I have never made. That's part of why I started a solo world is to eventually learn to do a lot of those kinds of things. In addition to, you know, tackling things that I'm not comfortable with in terms of areas and such. But areas and mobs and so on. But I'm actually quite curious because spruce villages can be some of the most predictably, like the auto-generated ones, can be some of the most predictably, what's the word I'm trying to look for, medieval style. And it's always neat to hear when somebody's able to come up with what a village that, or a village design, a building design that helps hide something and blend in at the same time. That's pretty cool. Well, you know, if I learn an auto farm and never update it, at least I've learned the auto farm, right? And I can put it on my personal resume of saying, yep, I've done it. May not have been well, may not have been more than once, but I've done it. And that's kind of a checklist, I guess you could say. So some of these auto farms, you're able to check them off your Minecraft bucket list to say that you've done them and tried them, right? That's pretty key. And you'll then think to yourself about whether you would ever want to do them again. Oh, sweet. I'm going to walk myself right into a pair of creepers. Lovely. No can like. No likey. Let's go back this way. I got Elytra, but I keep staying down here because I want to close this up. It's going to be a trap for a lot of mobs. One of the worst things for me is finding a small dip like this, now that it's become a dip, and then you just accidentally fall in the dip and like, okay, it's just a dip, not a big deal, I didn't die, and then you have creepers on your back or something. It's just, so I just don't want this to be a trap for those type of things. When I get home, the villager-powered carrot farm needs villagers. They're just trouble. What style of villager-powered carrot farm are you doing? Do you have the villager in the center? Are they throwing things to each other? Or are they just mining them up? So it has occurred to me that I've got a villager-powered one right now of the style where you where the villager farms and then feeds them, or tries to feed them to a hungry second villager. But it has occurred to me, I wonder whether or not I could actually get away with a villager-powered farm similar to the wheat farm that I was working with, where... Oh, ender person, lovely. Where they just pick them up, and then the excess ones that can't fit in their inventory just get sucked up by a minecart. I don't know. I'm kind of curious. Because then, like, putting a farmer in there is the easy part. Dealing with the rest of it, and the feeding of the other villager and getting that part all correct is the part that I find less than fun. Mm-hmm. I can't reach. Can't reach today. I find villagers in Bedrock and in, what do you call it, and in Java just trouble regardless. And that's how I've got a lone armorer just wandering around out at this end, is because I baited a bunch of them and they were doing well, you know, using their workstations to get out of here. But unfortunately, when they went for their beds, this particular one turned back for his bed, even though I'd picked all the beds up. He went back to where he had his bed and just fell in a hole. And I didn't realize it at the time. Now I've got this little lone guy wandering around. Okay, we're just about done with this hole. Pardon me, sorry. Something's got me swallowing a lot of air lately. I don't know what it is. Pardon me. All right. One of the reasons I really want to get this village area fenced in is not just because it's a to-do on my Faux Shrewsbury, but also that there's an awful lot that takes place in the books in the town of Shrewsbury with different villager-type houses. So they've got things like a Glover and so on. And I would like to be able to build houses or sort of buildings that reference that in the village. But I don't know, you know, it's a matter of scale until... it's a matter of scale that I don't really know or I'm not comfortable with until I get a village wall. The other thing is for the filler houses, pardon me for no scratching there, for the villager houses, I would like to open that up as a redeem to viewers, you know, just to have so-and-so's residence. And kind of need to have the village itself ready to build. So, okay, this is a hole that I can probably live with. That one I can't. Jeepers creepers, how did I miss that? Okay, let's fill her up from here. The idea with this one is that eventually, like we will have, at the castle, we're going to have a bit of a creating a whole organization with a bunch of different villagers. You know, that's, as you do, it's people who work at the castle kind of thing. Fill all the roles. And those will be unaltered villagers in terms of, I don't make their trades less expensive. And then in the village, my plan is to have free range set of villagers who just wander around, and those will be the ones named after viewers and have their various houses and so on and so forth. So people can trade with them if they want. They'll also be uncheapened, I guess is. They won't have price reductions or anything like that. and I don't intend to trade with the villagers, or the villagers, the ones outside the castle. So as confusing as that sounds, here we go. Okay, so I've got dips I can fall into, which are annoying, but they're not going to get me into a hole of no return. Okay, what else we got? We've got a few more to the south. Let's try the southeast. Oh, and I said I wasn't going more than top of the hour, and I lied. That was not the intent. Okay. Why don't we call it here? I'll take the break, rest the voice up, and I will be back later this evening, probably about 7 p.m. Eastern. So I'm going to just go onto this ridge with the donkey and find us a good place to raid out to. Apologies for the short notice on the end of the stream. That was not the intent. And let's see, it's funny how this zone back here looks like there's great big abysses to fall into, but we covered them, so they're no longer there. Okay, so what we're going to do is just click into pause here for a second, see who's live. Oh, live channels. Who have we got today? Wow, quite a lot of my favorites are on Wednesdays. Okay, I think we're gonna head ourselves over. I don't remember how long they go for. I think Wednesday's going to remain Maribel Jade Day. She's building a shop on the Truly Bedrock server. Now she's been up for about an hour and 41, or hour and 40 minutes or so. So she may not be up too much longer. Some days she runs really long streams, other days she runs relatively short ones. I think we're going to go over to Maribel Jade. So let's just see if the buttons will work today. Aha. There we go. Let's get this raid started.
Mischief managed.
There we go. So thank you to everybody who came today and hung out for a while. You guys always make my day and make it cheery. I do apologize for the fact that sometimes I get a little bit dark at times. I don't intend to. My brain just kind of wanders off in spaces, and we miss some of the happy, cheery, positive chat, which is part of why I've got the Geek Out. But I want to say thanks to everybody that came in. If you were just hanging out and lurking, then thank you to you as well, because it's always great to have people here. And as it rotates around again, we'll be able to say thank you to everybody who dropped by. But definitely, special thank you to Shallow Stack and Shisasi for the new follows. Also to Shamefully Skillful for the new follow. I really do appreciate all of those. And then thank you to Fantastic Shock Fox, Benson, and Scrublord for being our mods on tap today. And as well as Tis for Truth and Big Hairy GM for chattering with us today as our subscribers. And then thank you as well to Bob Breen, Shisasi, Shamefully Skillful, and Shallow Stack for helping keep the conversation alive. We appreciate every single one of you. So I'm going to ask you guys to say hello to Jade, and if you feel that you want to continue any of the conversation we had or message me in any other way, here's the obligatory Discord that everybody's got, and ours is pretty quiet, so have fun with Jade, and I'll see you on the other side.